Hi there, Jim. Jennifer here again to look at your week 4 sequences for the invitational prep. So we're going to start off on looking at your first rep coming around here on 3, which was the blind cross. So if we go back a little, one of the things that we want to talk about here is the difference between mental commitment and physical commitment, specifically talking about the backside. So let's kind of draw the plane of this jump out here. Imagine that bar extended on forever. You wait until you have physical commitment to the backside to begin that blind cross. So you're escorting her all the way up here, all the way up here. Now right there you can see the front feet cross the plane, and you have not yet begun any type of cross. So we're nearing the point of commitment to this red wing, and you're still on your left side cueing that backside. So we want to get to a point where when you have her landing off of 2, and you see right there, we have the inside arm is up. Presumably, you are giving your backside verbal. You're showing motion and pressure in towards that wing. There we go. At that point, if you can kind of look at your dog and say, okay, they're headed to the backside, we want to go ahead and begin that blind cross. But instead, you escort all the way up with 2 more of your full strides. And now we're on that last takeoff point. So here's our last stride before takeoff, and you've just now begun the timing of the blind. So you're just beginning to rotate over to your right shoulder. So now we're already airborne, and what you're going to see here is that the dog is actually jumping headed this way. All right, so that is not quite the correct side of the body that we would want. We would want them, coming over on that right side, but you're not quite off the line and did not quite get that blind cross done early enough. So then you can see that head pull up. So right here, the jumping arc seems fine, but you'll see that head pull up, and when she hits the ground, really has to cut back. So instead of landing and being able to travel on the line she's on, that would cause her to miss the jump. So she lands and has to cut back around you over to this jump. So let's play that back one more time, straight through, send to the backside. She jumps on the wrong leg. Oh, you can see her pull herself up to try to correct herself for those last 2 jumps. So work on being able to begin your cross on mental commitment, not necessarily physical commitment. Now we get into a little bit of the same thing here, a little bit more trust on the front cross and a little bit more distance. So if we go back, you didn't come quite as close to the red. So there's that inside arm cueing the backside, and you actually do begin that front cross. Right there's that outside arm. So we want that outside arm and shoulder rotation before the dog has come around that backside and taken off. So we got that, but we get a little bit too much into the footwork. So you begin the cross, and you plant, and then you have a couple steps backwards here. So you kind of take this step backwards and then your right foot backwards, and then you complete and open up. All right, we want to try to cut down the number of steps. So as you're coming through here, you begin the cross, plant here. We want you going ahead and opening up and running in this direction. So if you've come around, open up, move. All right, get done with that cross, because as you can see, dog's taking off and jumping right in towards you, and you are not setting this line to this jump. We would want you over on this side already running. So your footwork gets a little bit caught up, and then here you open up. So this is great right here where you open up, your shoulders are forward, you're driving forward, the right arm is down. That all is looking good. We just want to get it done back here, all right, when the dog's back there, rather than waiting until we have landing on that jump. All right, now again, we have better timing on this front cross the second time around, but still a little bit of a jump and kind of a twirl on your front cross. So you're going to see here, send to the backside, we're getting better, and then that little jump and twirl around there. So not too bad on the footwork, right? So coming around here, starting that front cross, and then you kind of jump up and twirl around, but that's that tiny little step right there. So I think you're trying to get out of it, but that's tiny little step right there. So instead of just pushing out, like right there, that left foot, we would like to see you just, boom, open up and go. But you take one more little step with your left foot, bring your right foot in, and then kind of hop, skip, and a jump over. But you can tell you're facing forward with the inside arm much earlier than what you were on that previous rep. So the timing here is still much better than you had before. And then the last one we're going to look at is the rear cross. Nice execution on the rear. You just got a little bit deep into number 4. So you send around the backside and drive, drive, drive. This part's good, but now you're ready to start the rear cross. Dog's not yet in front of you. All right, so you can see you're kind of having to wait, and you end up having a little bit more of a motion this way to kind of come around this jump. And what that does is she jumps and then kind of wants to bend in. What we would, let's go ahead and play that. So then you take that big step to the left, and then she wants to bend in a little bit. So right here, see that big pressure left? You're cutting in this way, and you can see her head. She turns in. Right there you can see she wants to come in this way. But if you just keep pressuring forward, she did redirect out. What I would have done, how I would have fixed this, is I would not have gotten so close to 4 on the rear. So I would have come around here. I would have paused at this point. So at this point I would have waited a little bit, started to cue her in front of me. And then as she passed you at this point, what that's going to allow you to do with your line, so let's match the blue here. If she passed you, let's say right there she passed you, and you're already clear of her, then you're going to be able to run this line immediately out to that jump. Compare that to the line that you had where you came forward, got stuck behind, and then had to cut out. You had more of the white line, which resulted in more of this and then that small redirect. So she was matching your path. If you can run, like I said, start the rear cross back here and push in, then as she comes in front of you, now let's switch over to a different white line. She's going to move in front of you and then parallel that and come straight out. So I just would have done more of a forward motion front cross. Don't get stuck so close at 4 with then all that lateral step and then having to redirect out to the jump. All in all, very nice stuff. Just got to work on the difference between mental and physical commitment on cueing that backside.